Many would say that the Jets had a solid draft, especially with Quinnen Williams being available when they picked third overall. But all is not well, apparently, in New York. On Friday, after rounds 2 and 3, GM Mike Maccagnan was forced to address questions about his future, which may be in doubt.
I really like working with Adam. He has a very clear vision of what he wants. I think he's, again, as I mentioned before, he has a very good sense of humor, a lot of energy, and a very, very positive guy to be around, and again, quite funny.
That came up because at the root of these questions about Maccagnan's future, and Maccagnan separately said, I'm not going to answer questions about my job. He shouldn't have to during the draft. But it's friction between Maccagnan and Gase. And, Chris, whether it's Le'Veon Bell, and there's some indications maybe Gase didn't want Bell, especially not for the money the Jets paid him, there is reason to believe, based upon some rumors and rumblings and reports out there, that all is not well. And there have been multiple reports that Maccagnan could be out as soon as this week, which would just be shocking because they could have fired him in January with Todd Bowles. They kept him. He helped hire Adam Gase. The idea that he'd be out after the draft seems just really odd, especially the idea that a new coach could come in and so quickly acquire enough influence to get his own GM in there.
Yeah, well, again, I think that could happen, but I think that they were probably, more wary of, okay, we're too deep into the draft process right now to change around the whole front office and maybe hire a new guy that doesn't have all the data of all the players that they need. So I don't think this is terribly uncommon. Again, this is kind of, and I saw that, I believe you wrote it during the weekend. This is kind of the end of the calendar year for front office people. Their dirty work is done. Now it's like start back at square one and let's build back to the 2020 NFL draft. So all the heavy lifting's done there, and a lot of times, organizations don't want to make those moves. I'm a little surprised, I guess, about these rumors. I, like you, heard them as well, that he was on the hot seat and something could happen this week. Up here in the New York area, I just feel like the Jets fans feel like Maccagnan has gotten a little bit fortunate with some of the players that have fallen to him in the first round, which I get. I think they feel like some of the roster has not been built to their likings to a degree. There's Tremaine Johnson, who they gave a lot of money last year, and that didn't go through the right way. I just think there's been little incidents here and there that, for whatever reason, the Jets fans don't buy into Mike Maccagnan, and it sounds like there's an issue there in the organization.
Here's how I look at it, though. If you think the guy needs to go, aren't you better off getting your new GM in there and then not entrusting your free agency and draft processes to a guy you're going to get rid of anyway? That's where it becomes very, very dicey. And I think the only way around it would be to do what the Texans did back in 2005. After that season ended, they fired Dom Capers and essentially pushed Charlie Casserly aside and didn't give him much influence over the draft, but he resigned after the draft in lieu of just cleaning house immediately after that season ended, because ownership didn't want to look bad for fire. Because if you fire both guys, it's like, hey, what the hell were you doing hiring both guys? But I still think that if you are ready to make a major change, just make the change. Rip the Band-Aid off. Because this doesn't help Adam Gase. If he has nothing to do with this decision, if this was something Christopher Johnson, the CEO of the Jets, was going to do from the moment Todd Bowles was fired, but just wanted to wait until after the draft, it looks like Gase had something to do with it, which puts even more pressure on him to turn things around quickly, because it's going to look like he made a power play before he had any power.
Well, yeah, but I mean, again, if they did it like right after Gase got hired too, or made that move, then it would look like Gase was guilty then too. I think
you do it at you fire the GM and the coach, and you bring in a new GM and a new head coach, just like they did the last time when they fired John Idzik and Rex Ryan.
Yeah, okay, yeah, I get that, but I think they just realized that I'm guessing this is ownership that had to do with this. They realized they had a lot of money to spend in free agency. They were going to be aggressive players, and they didn't want to rip up the whole scouting department and try to make a splash in free agency with a group of people that only had a few weeks to really figure it out. I'm guessing that's their logic. I don't know.
Well, we'll find out. Maccagnan's still there. We'll find out this week whether he's still.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.